Hey, what's up everyone? It's your girl Christina Sayers and welcome to my YouTube channel. So in this video, I am going to be talking about a testimonial basically regarding why I stopped wearing makeup, but then I started again. Let's get into it. But of course, you know, before we get into the testimonial, let's get into the definition and scripture. Okay, so the definition of wearing makeup is cosmetics such as lipstick or powder applied to the face used to enhance or alter the appearance. Charm is deceptive, beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. So this testimony is basically, I'm going to be talking about before Hollywood, how I was with makeup and different things, during Hollywood, after Hollywood, in the beginning of my Christian walk, and where I am now. Let's get into this. So basically before Hollywood, I was so confident in myself, always with everything. I was definitely more so of the girl that didn't wear a lot of makeup in general. Like I like to just kind of highlight, like I would wear like mascara or like brows, different things, a little blush, maybe lip gloss or lipstick. Sometimes I would wear foundation, sometimes I wouldn't. It really just depended on how I felt, and concealer. But I just like the highlights of things. I didn't like to overdo it. I like to look very natural. I'm very much a natural person in general. There is something special with naturalness in my humble opinion. That's basically elementary school all the way till high school. And now let's get into the Hollywood perspective. So now in Hollywood, as you see, I transitioned from that natural, very glowy, very, youthful type of feel to then a plethora of makeup. And a lot of people would actually see this makeup as drag makeup. Like they would say it's drag because of the heaviness of it. A lot of eyeshadow, a lot of different colors, heavy eyeliner, heavy brows, heavy contouring, heavy foundation, heavy concealer, heavy gloss, heavy blush, heavy. And I think one of the biggest reasons of why drag queens think they wore heavier makeup because they are men, right? Trying to be a woman, which they will never be. And I'm not trying to be derogatory or put them down, but it's just facts, right? And so you have men trying to be women and they try to emulate what they think is a woman. Fact is, a drag queen in the way that they dress up, that's like maybe one fraction of how a woman might dress up. But that woman usually, in my humble opinion, represents more like a prostitute, or represents like back in the day they would say like medieval and all that stuff. Back in the day they would say that would be like a woman of the night. So there's all that in terms of Hollywood. You see some of the pictures that I just showed about how my face, you could see, just went from very youthful, young, and evanescence and beautiful to then heavy and kind of dark and kind of grim and kind of aggressive and kind of, in my opinion, and this is not for every woman, but in my opinion, not as attractive, in my opinion, because again, to me, it represented kind of like a clown face, and with clowns, they wore a lot of makeup too. And I think the reason why clowns wore a lot of makeup, again, is to disguise themselves of who they really are. And that's what transgender women do, who are actually biological men. That's what they do as well. They disguise themselves to look, but in my opinion, it ends up looking kind of really scary. But again, I think it's far better if you're going to wear makeup to just do it a little bit, like where it's like more on the lighter side, where you can still see your face, not someone else's face, or not a face that you're trying to look like. That heavy form of makeup could be very, very, very distracting. And also, again, it's not the best representation, in my opinion, it wasn't the best representation of me. I don't think it's the best representation of a female when it's so heavy every single day and you just don't even know what you actually really look like because you're just so used to seeing something else. I also got to a place of trying to basically conceal myself as well because I thought the natural me wasn't enough. As soon as I got into Hollywood, it's like my identity, like I say this all the time, but my identity really got snatched, like for real. And that included everything externally and then also internally for a while. And so for a long time, my identity was gone. And so for me, I think I also try to conceal myself because I thought the makeup side of myself was the most beautiful side of myself. You know what I mean? I thought that was like the glamorous, the this, the that, and all that stuff. And I vaguely remember, like, just like with my ex-boyfriends before Hollywood and then sometimes in Hollywood, is that when I would strip myself down and I would wash my face, cleanse, everything just cleanse, like super fresh, I got the most compliments. Always, every time. It was like the guy at the time, like my boyfriend or whoever it was at the time, they would always be like so shocked that I looked the way that I looked without all that heavy makeup on. For me, it was a testimony to me that I really didn't need an ounce of makeup to be beautiful. I've always known that my whole life. But again, with Hollywood, it tricked me to make me think that I'm like not good enough. And again, I'm not the only woman that shares this testimony. Hollywood strips you in many different forms and facets. Trust me when I say that. And that's why you see, unfortunately, as it breaks my heart, you see these beautiful women who go into Hollywood, whether they acquire a lot of fame or not, and then years later, 5 to 10 years later, you have no idea who they are because they have bought into the thought process that if I get plastic surgery, and if I get, fake cleavage, or I'm sorry, not cleavage, but fake boobs, if I get a fake butt, if I get a fake nose, if I get and put fake hair, and if I get fake, fake this, fillers, Botox, this, and like end up looking like this, right? This is what I would have ended up looking like. I always do this face, like I've done it in other videos, like, but like, and you end up looking like this, and it's like you kind of just look like everybody else, and like your uniqueness is like completely just taken away from you. And so your God-given beauty is taken away from you. The enemy snatches it away from you when you do all that stuff as a female or a male even too. So, that's my Hollywood days. Now let's go after Hollywood. So after I got delivered, I got saved, got delivered, and I fled back to my hometown, went straight into the ministry, and was just so thirsty and hungry for God, which I still am though. Like, I'm still like, Jesus is king. Jesus is, you know what I mean? Like, it hasn't left, right? It hasn't left. I was under these women who didn't wear an ounce of makeup. Like, most of the leaders in this specific church did not wear an ounce of makeup. I remember one maybe wearing eyebrows. Like, for me, I started to get to the point of being like, I feel like makeup is from the pit of hell because, like, I started to do the research on makeup, where it came, and we know it came from the Egyptians. They were pagan, idolatry and witchcraft and all this stuff that had nothing to do with the God of Israel. And so our God, Jesus, right? And so I was like, makeup's from the pit of hell. So I went through a phase where I wasn't wearing anything. Then I would see, a lot of other Christian women, fully surrendered Christian women, for at least that I know, wearing makeup, totally comfortable, totally okay. But then I started to see myself kind of like looking down on them and being like, oh, they must be like that. And like, why are they wearing makeup? Or like, why are they wearing that outfit? Blah, blah, blah. So I started to become very critical and judgmental of women who were sold out to Jesus, who were wearing makeup and other things. And so I was like, and so over time, and then being in different ministries and stuff like that, and kind of seeing the dichotomy, but then also the similarities of makeup or not wearing makeup. And then also with God counseling me, God really gave me a different perspective about makeup. So let me get into the portion of now in my full Christian walk, basically 3.5 years into 4 years. Let's get into that. So now with makeup, what I started to see as well is that how God was counseling, I should say, me as well, was that he was like, because I've seen women, I always used to say, remember I'm talking about the clown face and all that stuff. And again, women who wear all that makeup, please know that that's my own perception and this is my own conviction. I'm not trying to call you a clown or put you down or anything like that. But this is just my testimony. And so with the heavier makeup and different things like that, for me personally, I just felt because it was associated with my identity being snatched, right? Because I didn't do that before Hollywood, right? And so that's what I associated with. Now I do know that there's women who have always worn heavy makeup, who have never stepped foot in Hollywood, who absolutely love Jesus and everyone loves them, and their fruit is so fruitful, and they have a lot of seeds, right? They distribute a lot of seeds, and I definitely know that now. And so now that I know that, I feel so much more comfortable to speak about makeup, whether if I'm wearing it or not. There's the other part of it, is that I saw a few testimonies of women. This added to the point of like makeup is from the pit of hell, right? That said, God, told me to stop wearing makeup. and then I went to hell possibly, and then saw people that were in hell, and they went into this whole testimony. But basically what they were saying is, I got that makeup is from the pit of hell, and why not honor naturalness, and naturalness is this and that, which is 1000% true in a sense of like, I love honoring naturalness as well. However, I do feel that that was that person's own personal conviction, because what that lady showed in her testimony was a heavy amount of makeup to the point where I did not recognize her at all anymore. It wasn't the same girl. And also, I do believe there is a demon version of makeup. You know what I mean? That demon can come through, right? If you're putting on this makeup and you are having a less of God, and you're having more of your flesh and more of the enemy coming through you, then I would say for your personal conviction, it probably is best to reassess, go into prayer, ask God what that root is of why there's a transformation that's happening. And he might tell you, yeah, for you, it's better for you to never wear makeup, because this is something that's going to be too much of a possibility of you stumbling in temptation or trying to tempt others, right? Or he might say, it's just a season, let me cleanse you, let me uproot you, and now you could do whatever you want, but just, make sure that you have to be careful about that, right? And so I started to see that. And then, which I do understand, because when I used to wear my mask, right, which I'm clowning myself, I'm not clowning you, but when I felt like it was a mask, like what I used to wear, because it was so heavy, a clown mask is what I would call it, is when I would put that on, I did feel different. But again, it's also for me, my own personal conviction, like I was putting this on to be somebody else, right? To be this pop star, to be this grand of, or what these people wanted, like type thing, like, Anywho, let's get into my final thoughts. Okay, so my final thoughts are, it's okay to wear makeup, is what it is. As a Christian woman, it is okay to wear makeup. 100%. It's an accessory at the end of the day. It is no different from wearing jewelry. It is no different from dyeing your hair. It's no different from dressing yourself. You know what I mean? So for me, personally, I'm like, I think it's totally okay for a woman to wear makeup. But again, don't let it be so much of an identity that you cannot walk out of your house without it on, right? Without that makeup on, right? And I think that's the power of a woman, right? Being able to take an accessory and wear it, floss it, whatever, whenever she wants to, however she wants to, under Jesus Christ, of course, in a godly way. But then there's other moments where she has nothing on and she's super stunning. Sweatpants, hair tied, chilling with no makeup on. That's when you're the prettiest. I hope you don't take it wrong. And I'm not uplifting Drake, but I do love those lyrics, because I think that he has a point there. I think whoever wrote those lyrics has a point. Is what I'm saying. Because when you're taking care of your health and fitness and you're confident and then you have a bare face, it's beautiful. Men and women appreciate it, and it just shows the confidence of the woman, whether she wants to doll up or she doesn't want to doll, or she wants to doll down, even though I feel like it is still dolled up in a natural way. Again, if you're transforming, or anything in you is transforming into something that's evil or wicked or nasty or whatever, you got to check yourself on that. You got to ask God, what is that? Why? What is this? You know what I mean? Like, because I know that the makeup isn't evil. I started to notice that it didn't matter if a woman had a bunch of makeup on, if she had light makeup on, medium or light, or she had no makeup on at all. It's all about the heart. It's all about the heart. You know why? Because I have seen women who don't wear an ounce of makeup, and they are wicked in all their ways. I have seen women who wear heavier makeup and who are loving and gorgeous and godly and everything in all their ways. And then I've seen everything in between. If your heart is wicked inside, if your heart is tainted and bitter and resentful and angry and jealous and envious, and you've like honed those spirits and you haven't gotten delivered and you don't want to get delivered, or maybe don't know that you're dealing with it, I don't know. But if that's what it is with no makeup, then you're gonna have that with makeup. Do you get what I'm saying? But if you're godly and beautiful and pressing into God, and you have the Holy Spirit, and you're a genuine loving Christian woman with no makeup on, you're gonna be a genuine loving Christian woman for the most part with makeup on. Anyways, family, that is it for me. Feel free to like this video, share this video, comment on this video, subscribe to this channel, hit that bell notification if you never want to miss a video from me. But that is it from me, wherever you are in the world. Buenos dias, buenas tardes, buenas noches, te amo, I love you so much, God bless you, and I will see you in the next video. Espiritu Santo Fuego. Hey! Love you. Bye.